All right, when you talk real estate, everybody wants to know what's happening with the dream homes, the high-end stuff, but also the marketplace. Joining us on the show, he's an award-winning realtor, great friend of the show, Seth O'Byrne. Good to have you here, man.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's talk about that luxury market. It's kind of a fun topic of conversation, but it's also a very different market from what we see in just your traditional median price real estate. What's happening up there?
Yeah, so it's been an interesting time for San Diego. I think we've seen the convergence of two things, right? So San Diego right now is an international market, and we have this new kind of excitement and energy from the international community that is pushing some of these ultra premium luxury listings out the door and getting them sold quickly in San Diego, which they'd have a harder time 10 years ago. At the same time, I do think we're seeing a little bit of a slowing of the luxury market. I don't think trade wars are helping us. Fear of interest rates does affect buyer psychology. So I think those things are interesting. But I think in general, super prime, ultra perfect luxury real estate in San Diego is selling just as quick, if not quicker, than ever.
Well, you have the median home price where we've heard the low inventory thing now for years. You put the home on the market, it's going to sell. When you get to the higher price range, you're talking smarter dollars in a different marketplace altogether. So tailoring an actual marketing plan and a strategy around it, I think, is the real key ingredient. And honestly, I've been traveling the country for the last couple of years launching the show. We handpicked the best realtors in every city. I've never met a better marketer of real estate than what this guy does. Great guy to follow on social media just because it's interesting and entertaining. But talk to me about properties and marketing them. I know you have some on the market right now. I mean, take us up the coast.
Yeah, so almost to the very end of Point Lomas Peninsula, which I think is one of the more interesting coastal land masses in San Diego. It juts right out into the ocean. On one side is the San Diego Bay overlooking Coronado downtown. On the other side is the Pacific Ocean and Sunset Cliffs, which is some of the best surfing beaches in San Diego. So you've got access to yachting, boating, downtown lifestyle, urban retreat stuff, and then you've got the ocean right there. We've got a property, 3516 Hugo, which is very cool. And this property is in Fleet Ridge 2, which means the views are fully protected, which is a big deal. And the views are as close to a postcard of San Diego as you could ever get, sub $2 million. You know, this property is super cute. It's very approachable. I think it's a very friendly beach house, but it has all the modern conveniences you would want. It's got this very nautical, cool kitchen setup, but the views are absolutely incredible. You know,
now, it's viewing towards the downtown?
Yeah, you can
just describe Point Loma in a really interesting way. You really do have on the one side of it Sunset Cliffs, Ocean Beach, beachy style. On the other side of it, you got that yacht style downtown living. Both are close. This is viewing.
You're
downtown.
probably looking at $3 or $4 billion in yachts from your kitchen.
Wow.
All of the downtown high-rises, including amazing, incredible new ones like Bosa's Pacific Gate and the park in Balboa Park, you know, shimmering windows of downtown, the Coronado, Mexico to the south, and the Coronado Islands, and you can see the largest yachts really on the American West Coast come through the main waterway. So, I mean, the view is insane.
In Point Loma, you're close to everything. So take us up the coast.
Yeah.
Right? What else you got?
So we've got a lot of great properties, but one of them that I love, which is a really cool property, I think, I believe it's the largest home on the Sea Cliff in Encinitas. It is just about 9,700 square feet, almost a 10,000 square foot, three-story house. Enormous home, very stately, but from the exterior, kind of similar to that property in Point Loma, it's got this Cape Cod vibe, so it's very approachable. So, you know, if you want 10,000 square feet and 7 bedrooms and, you know, 74 feet of ocean frontage with very nearby access to the sand, this is great. But from the outside, it's kind of a sleeper. You wouldn't know that it was so incredible. But from the Sea Cliff, every surfer in Encinitas knows this house. It's famous.
So how do you capture the story of that house, which you just described very authentically here, and how do you create that story and get it out to potential buyers? Earlier you were talking about international buyers. How do we create the story and how do we get it out?
So I think that the beach lifestyle is really romantic, right? And I think when you think beaches, you think one of two things, right? You think this kind of romantic vibe between two people who buy this little home for their life.
Definitely in Encinitas.
Definitely in Encinitas. We thought family. So we actually worked with a local talent agency and created a video where it was a daughter waking up the father in the bedroom in the morning. The sun was just coming up, and he's teaching her how to surf at the beach right in front of the house.
Wow.
And it was fun. We put a really cool filter on it. It was very emotional. It was evocative. It was a very different way of showcasing, an almost $10 million property. But we thought that the buyer of a Cape Cod property like this that has 7 bedrooms is probably a family-focused person. So we crafted the marketing around that.
I absolutely love that, man. It's just so many agents these days just create this cookie-cutter plan that their corporation told them how to do, and they're not tailoring it. I think what you called it years ago is bespoke marketing.
Yeah.
And that's years ago. You've coined this thing, and now people are trying to catch up with you as you're blazing new trails. And then you got this property that I saw on social media, which is ridiculous. It's a winery.
Manzanita Ridge Winery.
Yeah, so finish us off with that one.
Yeah, so we just priced it at $2.25 million. This property's on 9 acres.
Outrageous,
No,
right? I mean, $2.25 million.
So this, I joked when we first released the property, the wine that is produced on this vineyard, which is part of the property that's for sale, which you can keep or not keep the vineyard, but it's there.
Wow.
It produces more gold medals than Shaun White. Just think about that, right? I mean, it has so many gold medals for its primarily Zinfandels. You don't realize this, but actually Southern California produces incredible wine. Mm-hmm. Manzanita Ridge probably has the best. And we have an amazing Tuscan, very old world home for sale with fountains and secret gardens and walking trails. And you can, if you're a beekeeper, there's a place for your bees. It's on an amazing promontory in Escondido. It's every bit as luxurious as Rancho Santa Fe, but because it's where it is, in this area off a street called Lotus Pond, you can't see any neighbors. Mm-hmm. So if you want to check on your grapes naked, I've got a great house for you.
Naked grape checking.
Which is
Watch out for the bees, though.
We never put that in the MLS. but I think, yeah, look out for the bees. But I think it's amazing. It's 9 rolling hills. It's absolutely stunning. Everyone who's looked at the property is seeking, to have access to the beach in San Diego, but 25 minutes inland, you can't see a soul.
So very private.
Very private. It's a great place, I think, for a fast-paced CEO, someone who's a hardworking person who goes, you know what? By the time I get home from work, I want to turn off the world and live in my own kingdom.
Yeah.
With amazing wine as well.
Fascinating. We got to get you back on the show because I want to know who ends up buying these amazing properties.
Yeah.
Seth Blackburn, luxury specialist, Sotheby's. Always good to have you on the show, man.
Thank you.
More of the American Dream coming up next. All right, welcome back to the American Dream. One of our favorite guests who truly empowers the very mindset of the American Dream. Good friend, Grant Cardone. Grant, welcome to the show.
Always good to see you, man. Dream big, baby.
Yeah, what do you think of those people who say the American Dream is dead?
Well, look, they're dead. They're dead. They quit. They lost too many times. You mounted up too many losses. I know, I've been there. I gave up on my dreams because I mounted up so many losses, and I was surrounded by so many people like me that I gave up on the dream. And a guy told me one day, he's like, look, dude, if you don't work, if you don't show up, if you don't push, the dream will not show up for you.
Yeah, so that's the truth, man. The moment we stop dreaming is the moment I think we are dead, right?
And you got to keep showing up every morning. So I know a lot of people out there just, want to look at the bathroom mirror and say they're going to be rich or they're going to be happy or they're going to be married and they're going to get the beautiful girl or the beautiful guy. But you got to show up in the right places. You got to take action, and you got to be willing to give up some stuff.
When you say show up, what do you mean?
I mean, you have to leave your bedroom. You have to leave your living room. You have to leave your address. You might have to leave your city. I've had to leave beautiful San Diego. I lived there for 13 years. I had to leave there. The beauty of San Diego and the La Jolla coastline, I had to leave there to find my wife, to have my kids, to write books, to literally grow my business.
Let's talk about those books, Grant. So you got a new one, How to Create Wealth Investing in Real Estate. This is a new book you just put out there?
Yep. Can't buy it anywhere. The only way you can get it is right here, okay? All you do is handle the shipping. Any of your audience handles the shipping. I'll handle the book. So they can go to, I think it's cardonecapital.com/book. Easy to remember. And it's about creating wealth using real estate, not all real estate, like not land, not houses, but multifamily, primarily income-producing properties.
So the American Dream is a show that's heavily predicated upon real estate. We travel the entire country, find the best realtors in now 22 cities. Let's talk about that market. So are you bullish on real estate? How do you feel about it?
Well, they say they're not producing any more of it, but when they say that, they start going vertical. So that is a production of more real estate. The real estate I like is a particular asset class, okay, called multifamily or apartments.
Okay.
And I know a lot of people love their home and they think there's money to be made in their home. But let me just suggest to you that if you can make money in a single family home, if you think that's a good investment, imagine if there were 30 homes in one address and you were paid every month as opposed to having to make a payment every month.
Yeah,
so
I think a great place to start for anybody is don't be a renter. Buying a piece of land or your home, building equity, paying down principal, getting tax advantages, raising your family, building community and memories, all that stuff. That's what a home is. When we talk about real estate, I think more on the investment side. So you think that there's good opportunities in these multi-unit properties?
We're becoming a renter nation. So I would tell people, I would just accelerate your thinking there. Don't be a renter. And I would say, no, accelerate to one more level and say, be the landlord. Be a landlord. For instance, I rent where I live, where my family lives, I rent. And I own everything that I can rent to others. So I'm trying to, the goal is to create wealth with real estate. And that means I would be paid to own it, not paid to live there.
For those who would be looking into doing this for the first time, what are the first steps you take? Because obviously when you're biting off a duplex, a fourplex, or you're talking about 20, 30, 40 units, where do you get started for someone who's new to it?
I lay it out in my book, Craig, exactly what property people should be looking for. I would warn people about the duplex and the fourplex and the eightplex. Those are the first properties that went back in 2008, 2009. There's a certain number of properties and a calculation that produce enough cash flow so that you're not the landlord prisoner. You know what I mean? Where you're taking every phone call, you're answering every toilet backup, every termite issue. That's the reason people don't do real estate, because they don't want to deal with tenants. Sure. So I've come up with a formula where you can actually create wealth, get income, pay down the debt like you talked about, and sit and wait for the appreciation that's going to come over time. San Diego, by the way, is one of the most fantastic rental markets in the country.
That was my next question. What areas do you like for these multi-units?
Anywhere where the rent delivered to the marketplace is cheaper than owning a home, and where you can offer affordable, I'm talking $1,500 to $2,300 a month rents. I love Texas. I love Florida. San Diego is just a lockout market. It's rents will continue to go higher there, even though the tenants don't like that. It'll be great for landlords long term.
Well, you tried to squeeze an entire book in just a matter of a few minutes, so let's do this, Grant. Anybody who wants to get the free copy of your book, that's a really generous offer. Let's have them reach out to your website, get a free copy of the book, read about it, learn. Grant, thank you so much for coming on The American Dream and sharing some knowledge on investing in real estate. Really appreciate it.
Always good to be with you.
All right, man. That guy is living the American dream, a true success story. Awesome guy. Really, if you want to reach out, hit up his website. You get that book for free. Kind of a cool thing he just gave out there. More of the show coming up next. Well, as you know, the American Dream is a national program where we focus on business, the entrepreneurial spirit, overcoming adversity, finance, the market, all things that are relevant to empowering your American dream. But a big topic of conversation on this show is housing. So what we do is we integrate local, top-producing, award-winning realtors to cover a wide range of topics on that subject, different micro markets, different niche subject matter. Housing is such a big topic, so we're going to bring you a lot of information right now from some of the best in your market. Let's check out these interviews.
Welcome to the Phoenix Mountain Preserve. I'm Lloyd Fox, Long Realty, the Fox Group. And today, we're out here in the Valley of the Sun, and I'm hoping you can help me with what I'm feeling inside. I feel a little bit more like Wyatt Earp today. And there's an injustice going on here in our city, our fair city, the Valley of the Sun, Phoenix. People are stealing home equity. and I want you to help me bring in some justice. So who might be taking something from you today? Let's talk about something referred to as iBuyers. What's an iBuyer? It sounds really fancy. It's not like an iPod or iPad. It's not progressive. I simply stands for investor. Investors come in all shapes, sizes, and disguises. And how does an investor make money? They are either buying low or selling high. And when they need to buy low, they're taking something from you. And that's called home equity. And we're about to deal with that. Sometimes it comes in the form of a mailer or a handwritten note card or something saying, hey, we're gonna make it really easy for you. We're gonna make you a fair offer on your home. You won't have to show it, no open houses, nobody coming through your home. But what's the expense? What are you giving up? So let's take a closer look at home equity and how yours might be disappearing right before your very eyes. We're gonna take a really close look at this. We're gonna look at some examples of how it's going away. So what's gonna happen? They're gonna come in, they're gonna make an offer on your home. It's gonna sound appealing. It's gonna be the market rate, the market price that they've determined. And then they're gonna come in, and it's gonna look okay. But they've got fees. There goes the first fee. Seems a whole lot more than what I would have paid another way. And then they're gonna bring in their inspector. Oh my gosh, you need all these repairs. You know what? We can't give you that either. There goes some more home equity. Your home equity is disappearing before your very eyes. And just like this cake, they come on all shapes and sizes, your home equity. But what's important is to preserve it. So let's go on to the next example. Next example is, you may very well need that iBuyer, that investor sometimes. There's a place for that. I'm not denying that. Bottom line is you need to do your research. They're still gonna come in, maybe it won't feel as painful. Go to a little bit finer instrument here. Let's take out that piece that they're gonna take, a little bit for the home inspection. We're gonna whop that off, whop that off. This is what we're left with. But in the cases where you need to sell really quick, where you're just too tired to make the place look good, or you don't have the funds to make the place look good, or the help to do so, it might be a good point. But in reality, let's talk about how you really should do it. Let's talk about your home equity. Maybe you had somebody come in like that and talk to you about what they think your market price is and what your home equity is. But when you really did your research and somebody came in, a professional, your home equity wasn't that. It was this. Holy cow, I can get how much more? Really? And that inspection you talked about? Much more delicate. Yeah, it's gonna cost you something to do it this way. It's gonna look a lot better at the end. You're gonna pay a lot less in fees, and you're gonna take away a whole lot more of that home equity. That home equity that you worked so hard for. Do your research. Call somebody like me. Have them evaluate the market price. Look at what they might be able to negotiate for you. Look at what they might be able to negotiate for you when it comes to the repairs and the things, and let's preserve your home equity today and let you walk away with the most. Since we're here at the Phoenix Mountain Preserve, next we're going to be taking you to an outstanding place that's on the market today. It's over 3,000 square feet and on over an acre. Now here's a hidden gem. We're in the middle of 85028. Why is that zip code so special? Because it's in the center of Phoenix. We're only 15 minutes away from the airport. We're at 3858 East Via Estrella, and we're just steps away from the mountain preserve. So a lot of people might talk about we have horse privileges. You know what's special about this? You can ride your horse right up into the mountain preserve and truly enjoy it. There isn't a lot of that left here in Phoenix, but this is a special place. Come on inside and let's take a look. Inside this wonderful custom estate that was move-in ready in 2000, you have 4 spacious bedrooms, a den, 3 full baths. You also have a 3-car garage, unlimited potential. I told you earlier it was a short hike just to get to the Phoenix Mountain Preserve, about a quarter mile if even. And from here, the master bedroom, you also have a grand view of the McDowell Mountain Preserve and a deck off of it. You got the Phoenix Mountain Preserve here and the McDowell Mountains off this direction. Thanks again for joining me today. Lloyd Fox, Long Realty, the Fox Group. And today, justice was served, your home equity was preserved, and I look forward to speaking with you soon so that you can help me to take as much away from your transaction as you possibly can. Have a great day.
Well, now we are talking about an incredible program dedicated to helping girls succeed with my next guest, Temple Blackburn. She's a realtor with HomeSmart Elite Groups. Temple, thank you so much for being back on the show.
Thank you, Jen, so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, I love having you on the show, Temple. And today you've brought along a spectacular woman, and I would love you to do the honors. I know that you have quite the relationship and the backstory with Dena.
Yes, ma'am. So Dena Patton is the co-founder of the Girls Rule Foundation. And I am sharing her with everybody today because she has an amazing vision for girls who are going to be turning into tomorrow's women and leaders.
Well, Dena, thank you so much for being on The American Dream, and thank you for all of the work that you do. Tell us a little bit about the Girls Rule Foundation.
Thank you for having me, first of all. We are all about the empowerment and leadership of girls 12 to 18. And we have the Girls Rule movement, which is called Girls Change the World. And then we have 4 empowerment and leadership programs that change and save lives of our girls.
Well, I had an opportunity to go on your website, and it's just spectacular, the work that you're doing. And you have a line on there where you say self-esteem cannot be medicated. Tell me a little bit more about what you mean by that and the programs that help the girls feel like they don't need medication to feel like they're strong and successful and that they have opportunities in this world.
Absolutely. One of the most foundational things that we have is our self-esteem. But as women, we often don't learn the skill sets of empowerment and leadership until our 30s. Right. I don't know about you, but
absolutely
for
true.
Me and thousands of other women. And what I realized is if we could start 20 years earlier, when they were about 12 to 13, and teach these skills, they will navigate their teen years, which is usually when we can derail our train, right? And get in trouble. One bad decision can derail our life. And they can be equipped with this learning, then we are going to have more empowered women and more women leaders in the world. And so I just find that self-esteem is a foundational element of teaching our girls, because it really touches 4 C's, what we call 4 C's, and that's your communication, your cash and your income, your community and relationships, and your choice making. So 4 very key things of our life.
So Temple, for you, you have 4 girls in your life, you said, that you raise, and I was reading on the website that statistically, Arizona is one of the worst states for girls. So why is this organization so important to you, I'm sure, for those reasons alone?
Well, I was astonished when I heard some of these statistics, frankly. I felt like maybe I was living in some kind of bubble because I have 2 preteens at home right now. And it's just blew me away. And I had met her through Women's Council of Realtors. That's how we actually got started, because Women's Council of Realtors has chosen her organization as a nonprofit that we support. And as soon as I learned more about Dena, about the organization, I wanted to get involved, and I wanted to get my daughter involved. And I had the ability, and my daughter had the ability to go to camp, Girls Rule Camp, and it was life-changing. The 4 C's she just spoke of was actually taught to my daughter, you know, and they talked about things that are sometimes a little uncomfortable, potentially talking about with your parents.
Absolutely.
And so it was a forum of just girls, young ladies, and they were able to just express themselves, be themselves, and learn that it's okay to be just you.
Just you. Well, before I let you go, because we are running out of time, but Dena, I do want to give you an opportunity to talk to us about how we can help you raise funds for this organization.
Absolutely. Like every nonprofit, we are supported by donations and sponsors and grants. And we have a real opportunity to grow our programs and our movement national this year. So I would love for you to go onto our website, and there is a tab on there called I Want to Help. And you can learn how to become a sponsor, become a donor, become a volunteer. All of that is really important when you are moving a movement. So I would really encourage people to get involved, become a monthly donor, become a one-time donor. Every dollar counts in a small organization like this.
It sure does. Well, ladies, thank you so much for being on. And before I let you go, I just want to reiterate the slogan of the organization: today's girls, tomorrow's leaders. Thank you both for being on The American Dream today.
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back with more of The American Dream.
You just heard from award-winning realtors about your marketplace. It's one thing to find your dream home. It's another thing to finance it. I've traveled the country to find the best mortgage experts in every city. You're going to hear from yours in a Mortgage Minute right now. Let's check it out.
And back for our Mortgage Minute is Kelly Zitlow. She is the Vice President and Mortgage Specialist with Cornerstone Home Lending. Kelly, thank you so much for being here again.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Oh, anytime. We love getting all of the fantastic information from you, Kelly, especially for VA home loans, which is what we're going to be talking about today. I know that you are incredibly passionate about helping people that have served our country. You're so knowledgeable about VA home loans. So what are some of the most common misconceptions?
There are a few. The first thing is I think many people think that it's a one and done benefit, meaning that once they use their VA home loan, then that's it. They can't use it again. That's not the case. You can reuse your VA home loan benefits over and over and over again as long as your eligibility is restored. So that is probably the number one thing I hear most. Oh yeah, I used it back in the 70s. No, you can use it again and again and again. So that is key. The other thing that people really don't understand is that if you've had a short sale or a foreclosure and maybe part of that eligibility is now encumbered, people think that they don't have any of that home loan benefit left, and many times they do. So I think that there's just a lot of disconnect about the benefit itself. It is by far one of the best home loan programs that exist in this country. So if anybody has the inkling that they might have a benefit, they just need to talk to a great lender that really understands VA home loans.
Fantastic, and nobody deserves it more, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much, Kelly.
You bet.
That's all for today's episode of The American Dream. Please breathe oxygen into this message and help us combat negative media. How do you do that? Visit us online, visit our website, social media. We'd love to hear from you, and thank you for sharing our content. Cheers to your American Dream, and we'll see you next week.